ZRA and Myanmar. Junta's alliance escalates conflict in Chin State. CNA issues strong warning based on reports from Chinland Council, CNA official statements, frontline updates, and regional news sources. Zalengam Media is not responsible for the content or views expressed in this article. Introduction. In the wake of the devastating earthquake that struck Myanmar on March 28, 2025, leaving thousands in need of urgent humanitarian aid, the region of Chin State finds itself engulfed not only in natural disaster recovery, but also in intensified armed conflict. The Zomi Revolutionary Army Executive Council, ZRA, a splinter faction of the original ZRA, has been accused of collaborating with the military junta, officially known as the State Administrative Council, SAC, to launch attacks on resistance forces and civilians. The most recent and heinous act took place on April 4th, when ZRA launched a surprise assault on the Chinland Council Joint Forces in Natzang Township. In the aftermath of their retreat, they allegedly set fire to Nakzang village, killing over 80 civilians and destroying homes. In response, the Chin National Army, CNA, the military wing of the Chin National Front, CNF, issued a stern warning against further attacks, stating that its forces, although observing a ceasefire due to the humanitarian crisis, will retaliate if provoked further. The Nakzang massacre and April 4th assault. According to a statement from the CNF dated April 7th, 2025, the ZRA's attack on Natzang Township was part of a wider operation coordinated with the Myanmar junta. The CNA, which had unilaterally declared a ceasefire to focus on disaster relief, was not involved in any offensive operation prior to this provocation. The attack was repelled, but in a retreat driven by frustration and vengeance, ZRA cadres razed Nakzang village and slaughtered innocent civilians, leaving survivors traumatized and displaced. CNA rescue teams and local administrators moved swiftly to relocate survivors to liberated zones under Chin resistance control. Military strength and cadres, CNA versus ZRA. In terms of organizational structure and manpower, there is a notable difference between the CNA and the ZRA. ZRA is estimated to have around 500 to 700 armed cadres. Their base of operation includes northern Chin State, specifically Natzang, Singangat, and parts of Tedim Township. However, much of their logistical strength is allegedly dependent on assistance from the Myanmar junta. They are believed to receive arms, supplies, and tactical intelligence from junta-controlled military outposts along the Chin-Sagaing border. CNA boasts an organized and disciplined force of 1,500 to 2,000 cadres, spread across strategic regions like Mindat, Hakha, Kanpetlet, Paletwa, and Matupi. The CNA operates under a centralized command tied directly to the CNF and maintains operational synergy with several People's Defense Force, PDF battalions. This cooperation enhances CNA's effectiveness in both military and civil resistance efforts. Territorial control and administrative reach. ZRA's influence remains concentrated in scattered and rural locations where local populations report forced taxation, recruitment, and illegal activities including opium cultivation. The group has been accused of using coercion and fear to maintain control. In stark contrast, the CNA has successfully established local administrations in its liberated zones. These regions benefit from education programs, healthcare services, and food distribution systems coordinated by CNA's civil wings. Mindat and Kanpetlet townships, for instance, now operate under CNA-initiated local governance models that have earned praise for transparency and public engagement. ZRAEC's secret meetings with the junta. Multiple frontline sources have confirmed that senior leaders of the ZRAEC have been conducting secret meetings with SAC officers. These alleged meetings took place in military bases in Calais and Tedim. The agenda reportedly involved joint operations targeting PDF groups and Chinland Council units seen as obstacles to junta authority in Chin State. These meetings have intensified public criticism and sparked anger across Chin communities and resistance fronts, who view ZRAEC's actions as a direct betrayal of Chinland's ongoing struggle for federalism and freedom from military oppression. CNA's warning and strategic position. The CNA, through its general headquarters, made it clear in the April 7th statement that its forces had suspended all offensive military activities since March 28th to prioritize humanitarian efforts. However, the brutal attack on Nakzang village compelled the CNA to reassess its posture. The CNF stated unequivocally that it reserves the right to defend Chin civilians and will retaliate against future ZRAEC aggressions. Calling the attack a cowardly exploitation of national tragedy, the CNF urged all Chin resistance forces to unite in resisting ZRAEC and any faction that collaborates with the junta. ZRAEC propaganda and disinformation campaigns. On April 5th, a press statement issued under the name ZPCC, believed to be a proxy of ZRAEC, tried to shift blame for the Natzang massacre onto CNA and Chinland Council forces. These claims were dismissed by the CNF as baseless, inconsistent, and fabricated. Observers note that such propaganda aims to manipulate public perception and obscure the atrocities committed by ZRAEC in alliance with junta forces. The disinformation further endangers civilians and obstructs peace-building efforts. Humanitarian crisis worsens. As Chin State reels from both natural and man-made disasters, the need for unity and relief coordination has never been greater. The actions of ZRAEC not only derail relief efforts, but contribute to further displacement and suffering. Human rights observers have called for an independent investigation into the Nakzang massacre and stricter scrutiny of groups collaborating with the junta. Call for Chin unity and resistance. The CNA continues to call for solidarity among all Chin ethnic armed groups, civil society organizations, and diaspora communities. In its view, defeating the junta-aligned factions and achieving Chin self-determination remains the highest priority. Conclusion. The conflict in Chin State reflects broader challenges facing Myanmar's pro-democracy movement. While the CNA upholds principles of freedom, democracy, and federalism, groups like ZRAEC risk undermining those values through alliances with oppressive regimes. The people of Chin State deserve peace, justice, and the right to determine their own future. Unity among resistance forces, transparency in governance, and vigilance against disinformation are key to achieving that vision. Stay informed with Zalengam Media. Subscribe for timely, factual, and in-depth updates on Chinland's resistance and political developments.
tiếng phục thấy lên đây gì dia in bằng ma chỉ xe Mita
đi dầm cái đó được
phải được phải nó mới được phải nó đi đâu nó đốt chết đâu đó in bằng trên tất cả đây mà sagi lo đây sagi coi thằng ta lốt anh éo từng bên lốt bisa panas deh Balong tung tay khai. Tung tay lo. Balong lo check kan. Cái việc đó. Bang kota dekat, bang kota deh. Bang ơi. Bang ini sang kota cái xiềng tay. Bang lô. Mau deh, cái xiềng tay. Cái xiềng mỏ. Tôi quay sang là phải được. Ato, bagi ato, tong do ato, ato, bato ato, kurang si ato, ang naik kadang pendok ang dulu. Uno agama. Halo.Isuway. Ay muna. Go dyan. Malay muna ang spring. Ang buwan kabut, ang hao-tao eh. Tapos ito. Buwan kabut, ang hao-tao eh.